Hey everyone, thanks so much for choosing to watch this video where I had an exclusive chat with Liverpool youngster Owen Beck, who is currently enjoying a very, very positive loan spell down in the Championship at Blackburn Rovers. If you want to watch the full interview, head to redmenplus.com now and it is available there for you. Hope you enjoy. Speaking of coming into this season, obviously you returned to Liverpool. You featured quite prominently in pre-season for the Reds, certainly in the early stages and what have you. Arne Slot coming in, as mentioned, post Jurgen Klopp. How did you find that experience? Obviously, new manager, a group of players trying to get to know the new manager and his ways and his new sort of implementation of styles and what have you. How did you find that experience?
Yeah, I think pre-season was definitely a positive one. A new manager coming in and learning different play styles, different formation and stuff like that. So it was good to be around it and get some minutes coming off the bench in games and stuff like that. And obviously for the future, you don't really know what's going to happen, but just it was nice to get that, just get settled in with a new manager and have that chance to impress and show what I can do. So yeah, I really enjoyed pre-season. And then obviously when I came back, we agreed it was a good time to go out on loan to the Championship and get some good minutes. So yeah, I feel like it was a positive pre-season, and even getting minutes in pre-season set me up to be in a good place when I did go out on loan.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you mentioned a moment ago you had that little problem at the back end of the season, but you were able to get yourself back up and running in the summer. And as you say, now moved on to Blackburn. Before we move on to this current campaign, Liverpool are blessed in the left back department. We mentioned earlier on Andy Robertson, Kostas Tsimikas, two senior internationals. It's certainly Andy Robertson's case been right at the top of the game for quite a long period of time now. Obviously, Liverpool have got yourself, Callum Scanlon, Luke Chambers. The left back department, Joe Gomez, with all his versatility as well. Does that sort of competition and that, I guess, pecking order, if you like, does that push you on? Like, right, I really do have to be the absolute best I can be and sort of strive to get in and beyond them, if you like?
Yeah, 100%. I think, when you're at a football club as big as Liverpool, like there's always going to be competition, and as you said, the likes of Robertson, Tsimikas, Gomez, and then Callum Scanlon and Luke Chambers as well, So there is a lot of competition, and it just goes to show, like, you always have to be at your best. There's no time to switch off. There's no time to really have a bad session. You need to be at it 100%, really. And I think the competition is a good thing, and it brings the best out of everyone, really. So yeah, I think it's a real positive to have players like that, and obviously the likes of Robertson, Tsimikas, Gomez, they're great players to look up to. And when I've trained with the first team, I've kept a close eye on them sorts of players, and yeah, I've tried to take part to their game and implement it into mine because they're played at the top level, they're internationals, and yeah, overall I just think they're real top players to look up to.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that takes us nicely on to the next question, actually. Is there one in particular, from a Liverpool point of view, or just indeed left-backs throughout history, that you look at and you really sort of strive to model your game on them, and like you want to be that type of left-back? Because the full-back position has changed dramatically in the past decade or so. I think it's fair to say you've got to be much more than just a defender these days. But is there one in particular you go, I'd love to be something like that?
I think for me it would probably be Andy Robertson. He's a brilliant left back. He's been one of the best left backs in the world now for God knows how many years. So I think watching Robertson, it's the one player I'd probably say, like, the way he bombs forward, he's got his mentality, his aggression. I think he's got, all the attributes you need to be a world-class left back. And yeah, I feel like he is probably the one who I look up to the most, and good enough for me. I get the chance to train with him when I get the opportunity. So as I said before, I just think taking parts out of his game and trying to implement them into mine will only make me a better player, really. But also different types of left backs like Kostas, Gomez, I feel like even watching them in training, I try to take parts of their game and put it into mine. So I think overall it's one of them. I've just got to take every bit of information and every bit of help I can, really, from the best players. So
yeah, absolutely. As much as I mentioned that sort of competition for places, that also is quality to learn off, isn't it? And they're great people to have around, and as you say, watch and train and try and take little tips from. In terms of Robertson, Tsimikas, and indeed Joe Gomez, are they particularly sort of mentor types when it comes to training? Because obviously when you were around the pre-season camp and what have you, they know you were a young left back, still learning your trade a little bit. Was one in particular trying to like get his arm around you and say, you know, do this, do that sort of thing?
I think most of the players, you know, when you come training as, you know, a young lad, I think all the senior players are good with that. You know, they help you if you, you know, you're struggling or you're having a bad session, you know, they're there to help you. And I feel like when I went away on pre-season, everyone was, you know, trying to help each other really. And for me, that's a real positive, because if I wasn't doing something that maybe Robertson, for example, thought I should have, then he would tell me. And, you know, I only see that as a positive because, you know, as I said before, he's been one of the best left backs in the world for years now. So, you know, as I said, it's all about just training with the best players and learning as much as you can and taking it all in. And then if you do get the opportunity, just taking it really.
Yeah, definitely. That's a really good environment to be in then, isn't it? I say you can learn off some of those types of players. And we'll touch on this season now, Owen. Obviously, 23 appearances so far for Blackburn, playoff contention right now. How have you found the Championship? Because we know it's intense. We know how sort of high the standard is of football as well, certainly at the top end of it. Have you found it quite, you know, challenging, or have you found it like, you know, this is where you want to be? You want to be playing every 3-4 days, that regular fixture congestion. That's what it's like at the top end of football ultimately.
Yeah, I'd definitely say the Championship is a relentless league, you know. I feel like the games come thick and fast and really high intensity games. So I found it really difficult, to be fair, you know, just preparing for the games, making sure you're in the right, you know, the 100% ready for the games, even when they come, you know, every 3 or 4 days. So yeah, I feel like it's benefited me really, you know, especially, you know, playing every 3-4 days, you know, building that robustness and having to perform 100% every week. So yeah, I've definitely found it challenging, but one that has really benefited me, and I've really enjoyed it.
Hey everyone, thanks once again for choosing to watch that video. I'm sure you'll agree, Owen Beck was an absolute delight to speak to. Great to get a little bit of insight into his pre-season, obviously working with likes of Arne Slot, Andy Robertson, Kostas Tsimikas in the left-back department as well. Real pleasure talking to him. If you want to check out the full interview, head over to redmenplus.com now, and it's all there available for you. We also spoke about last season up at Dundee, where he's named in the Scottish Premiership Team of the Year, and his current campaign at Blackburn Rovers, as well as a little look ahead to what the future may hold for the young Liverpool lad. Take care. I'll see you again soon.